Hello and welcome back to my art table. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. This is a painting that I've finished. It is an acrylic on a nice canvas. It is just a very simplistic, minimalistic is what I meant to say, not simplistic, minimalistic landscape. So it has a little less depth and a little less interest on the surface, and I'm wanting to create a kind of a nice luster. So I'm going to use some materials that I don't think I've shown you yet. This is a gloss medium. I'm going to use a gloss and a matte, or a gloss and a matte medium to do this on a palette with a knife, and I may use my sponge. Now this is a gloss medium that has dried up. This is what it looks like. I let this sit too long and didn't use it. It is going to dry sort of just a very clear and give you a really nice sort of finish. Now I'm not going to use it that thick where it's going to look like a plastic cup on my painting, but I did want to show it to you what it looks like when it dries, especially if you don't use it quickly enough. Now I'm going to create a simulated oil finish on my canvas with using these mediums. The beauty of using oil is they blend beautifully and they create a gorgeous lustrous finish. And I love working with oils. I do some water-based oils. They do take quite a while to dry, even though they are water-based, and I do use sometimes an accelerant, but they still take several weeks to really fully cure and dry. What I'm doing is I'm mixing up my medium because I just opened this jar. You could shake it really well. You should always mix up your mediums by a good shake or mix. I'm putting some on my palette. And this one is my matte medium. I'm going to open my gloss medium, which is quite a bit thicker. This isn't quite as soupy as the other. I'm going to scoop a little onto my palette. I'm using about half and half, or almost 2/3 and a third, in favor of the gloss, because I want to add a little more luster to this painting. And as I was saying with oils, they're beautiful for blending. They do give you a beautiful finish. They take a while to dry. They are a little smellier than acrylics, so I always have to make sure I'm very well ventilated when I use them. But they create such a gorgeous lustrous finish. And there are people that will only purchase oils. They do not buy any other artwork except for oils, and I understand that, but it is very hard as an artist. Unless you've got a lot of space to dry paintings, it's very hard to keep them around and dry them and work on them, and unless they're small. Some people will just do small artworks, but larger canvases, I like to be able to hang them and ship them a little sooner than several months. So what I'm doing is I've built up sort of just a very light kind of frosting-esque layer here with my two mediums, and I'm going to work in small bits, creating just a pretty finish going over my canvas with my palette knife. This is going to give me a little visual interest and depth to my canvas and create that real pretty finish. Now if I wanted to stay with the flat matte finish that I have, I could definitely use some of my glazes, pretty varnish, and create a little more luster. But this is going to also give me just a little bit of texture, and it's going to add a little something to the painting. So this is one way to do it. If you haven't added texture and you're working on a canvas and you decide that, you know, wow, it's just not quite got that oomph that I'm wanting, this is a way that you can add a very pretty finish and sort of mimic a little bit of that oil-like luster when it's all done. Now you have to apply it very, very thinly for that, otherwise it will just look like a texture, which is fine. But if you just move your palette knife back and forth, you can use a brush with this, you can use a sponge or other tools to move this around. And you can just experiment till you get the finish that you like. Now, as with texture, this is immovable once it's done. You don't want to ruin your painting by trying to remove it, so be very careful when you're working. Lay it down as you wish your final painting to look. Again, it will dry clear, so you don't have to worry about it adding a cloud or a white layer or anything like that over your color. It will dry just about 100% clear, so it will give you a pretty shine and sheen as well. So as you can see, I'm just working back and forth, moving over the surface of my canvas. I'm not hitting every single spot. I'm not just, wiping it on 100%. I'm developing a little bit of a surface texture, and again, just that visual interest on the painting that it was missing. And if you've not already joined any of my groups, please do join my Art Insiders or my Creatives group at 101artist.com and get more tutorials and tips and things like that. All right, thank you for watching.